That was beautiful. Like,
Press record again, because usually we have great conversations.
I've got it. Click, click. I got it.
Click.
Wow. Like, I love your imagination there. I want to know, how do you do it? How do you put these stories together? It is
Quintin,
just,
it happened. What do you mean? This is
oh,
a legitimate. No, I don't.
but your way of, see, when I learn about metaphors, even at NLP, it was, for me, I feel that it's a challenge to articulate stories, and I think maybe it's the different languages going on in my head with Dutch, Afrikaans, and English, and it's all this and that. I enjoy telling stories, but it's not in a sense as captivating as I feel that you've just laid it out. It was just beautiful, and you are amazing.
How fun was that? We totally didn't. We did an accidental open loop on that podcast. Did you notice?
I think it was beautifully planned.
Do you know what I mean by open loop?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That was beautiful. Thank you. I'm totally happy to do the leader upgrade with you if you like.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I
really
like that, like especially how you talk about actually recognizing. Because I was thinking about it as we were going through, and I'm like, I don't know, like I don't know, but yeah, let's leave that for another time. Where
totally happy if you like.
Amazing.
It does. It keeps all the good stuff that you've already got and just adds even more awesome. So it's
Where did
totally
you learn it?
Well, to be honest with you, I created it. I made it up. So it's my, I don't know, it was
I love that. That's beautiful.
It was, I think, being around Tony's programs and doing Date with Destiny, and there was a lot of character, so just the concept of like going, there's all these different characters in ourselves. So with all the stuff I've done, I've literally got a lounge. When I see it, I've got a big lounge room with a massive circular couch, and they all sit there. They've all got bedrooms, and if some of them are naughty, I literally send them to their rooms.
Love it. It's like your own little boardroom almost, like internally.
Yep. And so just like going, there's this part of me is responsible for this part, because we're made up of all these different parts.
You
know, like there's this beautiful soft, Gabby. Then there's like the full on D, get shit done, Gabby.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah. They all serve a purpose. But yes, that's how. But when it comes to stories, I think for me, it's who I am. Like that. When I was a kid, I had my head buried in a book, and like I remember one birthday, I wanted this specific book. It was on Greek myths and legends, and I so wanted it. It was like an expensive big book. So back then, it was like, just get that. It would have been expensive back then. It would have been probably like a $50 book now.
Yeah.
And I wanted it for my birthday, and instead I got dolls. And don't get me wrong, I like dolls, but I really wanted this book. And I remember being devastated, absolutely devastated, because I didn't get the book. And so to me, I always read stories, and I read like all the Brothers Grimm stuff, and I had like books and books and books. Then I started writing. I wrote plays. So my first business was a theatre company. And my vision back then was to have a traveling theatre company where we'd literally go from school to school, and I was rebirthing the classics, making them modern to install morals and values and really beautiful character traits into the youth of today.
Yeah.
And so I wrote some plays and stuff, and I loved doing all of that kind of stuff. Then, I'll be honest with you, we did a lot of like charity stuff. I made $20 out of that theatre company. It wasn't profitable, but it was fun. We did some beautiful things with like cancer kids and whatnot. Since like my intention was to actually learn everything I could about sales and marketing, so I could come back and make a difference and help people grow. And it just turned out that instead of going to kids, I ended up talking to adults.
Will you still do it? I mean, is that still something that is a later thing maybe, or is that completely done with the theatre?
Honestly, it evolved. So to me, it evolved to what I do now. So same, if you think about the vision's the same, meaning if you look big picture, energetically, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
As opposed to going in and transforming kids and having them evolve and and yeah, evolve into their best versions of themselves. I do that with adults. And I like what I do now because working with business owners means I'm working with the leaders of the world. And to me, if anything, the only thing I can see in my future is that the level of leader is going to grow, meaning that, 20 years from now, I'll probably be coaching leaders that are a bit higher up than the small business owners that I'm dealing with right now. But the vision's the same. Yeah. It's just, it's been executed differently. So that creativity that I had then, I've always had that in when I run events. So it's my platform. It's my stage. This is my canvas. When I create events, to me, it's no different to painting a picture. Wow. I draw and I do stuff. So yeah, I love it. Like, to me, it's quick too. Like, to me, it's like the way I construct it, I think to myself, okay, what are the resources? Like, with that story, it was don't dig it up again. Like, if you, so many people. So after I share the story with my peeps, I now have them unpack it. So it's different to when I used to do it, when I did it with you. I've actually evolved the model.
Okay.
I now share the story, and then I go to the audience, to the people, and I ask them, what did you get out of this? And then they all start to.
Wow, that is awesome.
Pull the resources out.
I love that. That's epic, because it's no longer just the pre-frame of what we're going to teach you. It is, what was your take on it? And based on your take, let's explore that a little bit more, which is valuable for the rest of the group. So I love that. That
really
is
cool.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome.
So I've done that for the last, that's been the upgrade in the last 2 events, and wow, what a difference it's made.
Yeah.
That it's cool because, one, like you've got all these heads, and they've all got, so they're learning, like, it's expanding the, I didn't think of that, and now, when you look at transformation, it's all about making sure it's disassociated with resources, associated with resources, and that creates transformation. And so just in that, when we do it like that, then they go, I can see where I've been digging shit up again. I've planted it. I've done a project, as opposed to just letting it do its thing. I'm like digging it up and wrecking it, which is a metaphor for what a lot of us do when we don't just continue until it's finished, when we go, I failed and all that kind of stuff. And obviously, other people are going, well, it's get your intel, learn from the person who has the results.
That's what I got out of it. It was the fact of, you need to go and find information from the right person, wait a little bit longer, and really get what it is all about, understand it, and then apply it, versus just going all forces, do something, and it's turning to mold. Yeah.
Yep. And so in that, they're saying things like that. Then they're saying things like, listen to your mentor, listen to Gabby. So then it's evolving into getting them to even deeper respect my message and respect my models, and to actually implement. It's learn and implement. And like, there was a really cool conversation where now they don't even know they're transforming, but they're transforming because they're trying it on.
Yeah.
As soon as they go, I saw this, they're trying it on, and if it feels good, they'll keep it. So that's what I've been doing, and I like that. Like, it's the evolution of, just it's me evolving, I guess, as a facilitator and a speaker and a coach and all that kind of stuff. And I love it. I love it. I love it. It makes my journey makes sense, meaning that the fact that I was in drama for so long, and I went to the top schools and got my friggin', the Bachelor of Arts, and I spent all of that time, it all actually makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm using all of my journey, and I love it. It's fun.
It's like
how much fun did you honestly have when we did it together?
Oh, it was amazing. I don't even know what to expect, and the fact of having to jump in is like, here's the microphone. You talk now for a little while. It was like, oh, okay, let's play this game. But no, I love that. It's a completely different model, where it is, you're now putting it back on them. But how do you? Is it limiting you from actually pre-planning the rest of the day, or is it purely the story has the lessons that you want to achieve by the end of the day is incorporated in the story, which will unpack through them, and therefore get them the experience of it?
Great question. Honestly, it's not in any way, shape, or form. So it's always, to me, like now, it's always, what are some resources, meaning that they're going to get so much more throughout the day anyway, but what are some resources that if they took them right now would actually have them get the content at a much more advanced level instantly. So it's like a time hack that if they accept this right now, they've now accepted listen to the mentor. So how are they going to listen to me and my content? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the content I was sharing with them was it was giving them systems for running meetings, how to deal with different kinds of characters in the workplace. It was literally, we're talking about leadership, systemization, how to see your people, what to do. And when, at the end of it, they're implementing the next day. I've got pictures of them, showing me their meeting runs, because there's this really cool, really awesome thing I created called the 3 Forces. Fuck, you'd love it, Quintin, for running meetings with your people. Yeah. Oh, so sexy. Super sexy. It would probably be a good thing to actually share on a
Let's
on a
cover
thing.
it, yeah.
But yeah, so as I go through the content, get the who's listening to me now. It's someone who values the mentor, values the education. So what did I seed? This guy intently took all the data. So every single person now isn't impatient, and that means I could have a deeper conversation with them without them going, oh yeah, just give me the cool stuff. So we went deep on, we actually went deep on meta programs, and they got a massive insight into how people are different with the, towards, the away from, the external, the internal, the matcher, the mismatcher. And they got to, in that, they got to see where some of their staff, like one guy was literally looking at firing his manager until we had this conversation. He's like, oh, I don't need to fire him. I just need to do this because he's that particular meta program. And,
That's amazing insight for them. Wow.
Does that make sense,
Yeah,
though?
Yeah.
So to me, the story is designed to, who do they need to be as soon as possible to have this conversation go to an even greater level, and then let's fill.
Yeah, I love that with who you need to be and how you're incorporating that now. I remember you telling me about the kind of path that I need to take with, or suggestion, the kind of path I need to take regarding the marketing aspect of everyone else is talking about their strategy and their story and so on. And I've been honing in on who you need to be, that your marketing systems, the real reason why your marketing currently isn't working or your business isn't growing, it's all based on who you need to be. And I really love the message around now that your marketing is a reflection of who you are. The way that you speak, the way that you address problems, the way that you address your staff, your product, the way that you show up when you actually onboard people, that's everything that is part of your marketing that needs to be more, that you need to take responsibility of, which will immediately affect the systems that you have for your actual marketing strategies. That now that I'm growing, it is, yes, Facebook is just one stream. I'm now beyond Facebook, where it is I'm seeing different pillars, and it's all the person who can actually incorporate each of those pillars, the language around it, to actually understand that these systems now fit into this model, and that is now how we're going to grow. And it's how they fit into that model, that platform, molding themselves into the next stages.
And that's what I love, to be honest with you, Quint. Like, I love the fact that it's ever expanding. I love the fact that I'm constantly innovating, I'm constantly improving, I'm constantly coming up with ideas to make things even better, and I don't feel like I've finished. And it's funny, I was speaking to Cal about this yesterday, and she'd hit a little bit of a bump in her journey. And I said to her, don't look at it like it's a stop. Look at it as an opportunity that you're currently growing. That if you're not happy with what is, and you want something better, that's freaking awesome. That means that your internal self has evolved to want more. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so to me, everything you're speaking about, that's why I love business, because if you embrace this journey, this is the journey of the absolute ever-ending innovator, ever-ending, spiritual growth, that you just keep going and going, and to me, being in business is one of the biggest windows into the don't know basket. Do you know what I mean by if I imagine I'm drawing a circle, that's a circle. Imagine that it's a pie, and we're going to separate it into 3 sections, right? Yeah. There's literally 3 windows to look through in life. There's the stuff we know. There's the stuff we know we don't know, meaning like the stuff I know is I know that I like this wine. The stuff I know I don't know is I know I don't know how to fly a plane, yeah, but I know I don't know it.
Yeah.
Then there's another window of stuff I don't know. Like it just has, like today you finding about the inner boss, that was a don't know window.
Yeah. So it's something that's brand new, new information.
The don't know. Yeah. And so to me as business owners, what I love is the truth of the matter is when you think about it, Quintin, what percentage of all the friggin' knowledge and wisdom in the universe would you say you know?
Oh, less than 1%?
That's so humble. It's funny. I did this with my clients a couple of events ago. Some of them are going 20%. Some of them are going friggin' 1%. It's just interesting to see. But yeah, so when you look at the circle, right, we've got like, so what you know is like, right?
Yeah.
Then what percentage of all of this do you know you don't know? Like I don't know how to make an atomic bomb. I don't know how to put a pixel in the back of my thing. That's why you do it.
Yeah.
Like, so what percentage of all of this do you know you don't know?
In the context of business or
context
of anything, that would be at another less than 1%. It'll be another. It's hardly there.
And to be honest with you, you're probably the first person who's actually answered this humbly, because I've had all sorts of like 20%, 30%. I'm like, dude, you're that freaking cocky. Like all the universal, but ultimately when you look at the circle then this is you, Quintin, in the grand scheme of everything that's out there, and you're literally deleting, distorting, generalizing all this stuff. You don't see it. It's invisible to you because
wow.
Isn't that cool? And to me, that's why I love business, because business gives us, if we take the journey on, it actually has us tap into these more than most other journeys. That if I just took a job and I, got married, had a couple of kids, and went to my 9 to 5, wasn't really stretched or challenged. Like, I'd learn about kids, I'd learn about cooking, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of all sorts of stuff, would I learn that I have an inner boss? Probably not. Would I learn about what it really takes? Would I learn about human behavior the way I have in business? Does that make sense? Like, so to me, I love it because for us, we're constantly stretching that little 1% a little bit.
Yeah, that inspires me to want to push it a little bit more as well. I mean, just the fact that I know that there's so much, and I'll bring it back to the analogy of when it comes to building a shed, everyone's got an opinion, but when it comes to building a rocket ship, there's only the specialist that you'd ask questions. And when I think of this analogy that you're saying with the 3 buckets, it's really, I want to be pushing that needle a little bit further into, and I know that it's still so small, so minute in the context of everything, but there's an opportunity now to be able to explore the unknown that we don't even see, hear, or talk about.
Yeah, it's until you know it, you don't know it. It's those moments that, to me, great marketing creates aha moments and shows people into their don't know basket. That's why, to me personally, when marketing can do that, I believe that's when people love it. I also know that there's been episodes in Marketing with Vino that people have gone, wow, it's because we gave them the don't know. We got them to see a part of their don't know. And until a human being actually ventures into the don't know, nothing changes, because it's just more of what you know. So, you know what I mean? Like
and that again, they generalize and distort and what's the third one? Generalize and distort. But yeah, they
delete.
Yeah. So that again, if it is something as I know that, they put it into that bucket where it is, no, you don't actually, but they put it into that. So they're not actually even pushing the needle to the next stage. They're not actually open. Wow. So it's their own openness to actually wanting to learn a different angle that will push that lever a little bit.
Or not.
Wow.
Isn't that funny? And so it's funny, like at the start of the event that I just ran before on Sunday, my intro to it was, setting the rules of the day, making sure that, people like don't freaking go crazy and chaotic and talk over each other. But one thing I said was, we're about to cover some content, which is deep personal development stuff. And some of you have already done courses, and some of you have probably already heard some of this stuff before. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to listen to the gold. I want you to get that if you're listening to this and you find yourself going, I know that, then take a reality check. Unless you're using this masterfully, you don't friggin' know it. Unless you've got wisdom around it, unless you apply this knowledge every single day without thinking about it twice, you haven't learned all you need to. So I want you to get that you might be listening to something for the third time, a content that's similar. It's going to be delivered in a slightly different way, and hopefully this is that time that stretches you, gives you the breakthrough that has you be able to master and implement from now on. And in pre-framing it that way, they start to listen differently too. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, human beings naturally are either going to be matches or mismatches, right?
Yeah.
So if they're a mismatcher, they're listening to content going, well, it's not like.
Yeah. You're so right.
Yeah, that's not like what Thingo told me. Or if they're a matcher, and most people are matches, then they're at a seminar, they're at a workshop, and they're naturally going, that's like this, and they're missing the opportunity to actually experience something brand new. Yeah. So it'd be like standing in Fiji and experiencing a beautiful sunset. And instead of going, wow, going, oh, that's just like the one in Hawaii.
Yeah, you're so right. That's like my desktop screensaver.
That's right, yes. Oh, goodness.
Oh, I love it.
Good chat. I love it. There you go. I think that was a really enjoyable chat. Ladies and gentlemen, yes. I do believe that Quintin and I just started talking and we started recording. And to be honest with you, this wasn't even intentionally going to be an episode, but I think we want to share it now. We want to share this chat with you all. So this is a bonus. This is the backstage. This is Quintin. This is Marketing with Vino backstage.
This is actually the conversations that inspired us to create the show. This is where the show that you listen to, the actual constructed episodes, or not as much constructed, but that is more training based. It is more around wanting to speak to you directly. But what you're listening to right now, this is me and Gabby just getting the wisdom out and really being in that zone. And that's what inspired us to just put a microphone there and record it. Yeah.
So we hope you enjoyed this as much as we enjoyed chatting about it. And I say that this is the first of many to come, but this is Marketing with Vino Unplugged Backstage Live.
Done. I think we just created a new show. Bang.
We just
Unplugged. Let's make it happen. It's been amazing. I'm going to stop this recording.
Bye.